We're live and we live and we live and we live. Yes, what's happening? I'm getting notifications, so should everybody else. I feel like this isn't as sturdy as it was last week. Probably not. Hey guys, hello, hello. Hello. Hey y'all, how's it going? Hello. I am strongly thinking about getting theme music. Like, this is ridiculous. I should have a ba-da-bum, 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 ba-da-bum. It is 10:05. We are live. Hello. Hello. Don't be alarmed if you see Shamook. Am I still hearing? Wait till people come on. Hello, hello. Only one person on. I don't like it. We need like 4 or 5, 18, whatever. And do not forget to like, share anything to the page. I am so down. This week we're going to be doing top 10 movies, but I have condensed it down to 5 because of who I am as a person. And it's not because I'm lazy. It's on the sheer fact that these 5 movies I got very intense about. And I feel like it's going to dive into like a 3-hour thing, and I didn't want that. So guess what's happening? Oh my God, there's a gnat in here and it's bothering the fuck out of me. Anyway, cheers, guys. Whew, and then we're going to be making the drink. We are going to be making a drink, and I'm coming to you live from my kitchen. Why? Because I said so. Okay, so we're going to start here. Welcome, everybody, to Drinks with Dag, another episode with yours truly, Dag. And we are gonna, according to all the boots for this week, we are gonna be diving into my top 10, which is actually 5, movies of all time. And then we're gonna be making this grimace drink, and then we're gonna be doing some honorable mentions here afterwards. So, let's go. I hope everybody is having a great weekend. I hope everybody is drinking right now, having a drink with me or like with other people. That's the other side of the koozie. This is a great koozie. So, hi Tasha, my little cuz, my baby girl. I miss you. I miss you guys so much. You guys have no idea how bad I'm itching to go over there. So, we're gonna make that happen around October, hopefully. Oh, and then my friend, there's my Tasha, my other Tasha. Hi, Tashas. I love y'all. Oh, I miss you. Miss you so much. So hopefully by November, we're hopefully gonna go and see you guys. Fingers crossed. So, anyway, like I was saying, we're gonna dive into my favorite movies, and then we're gonna talk about whatever fucking movies you guys like. Or you guys like want to talk about, like, I don't give a shit, whatever. And then we're going to make my drink, and then we're going to talk about movies that you guys absolutely love, can't get enough of, things like that. Movies that you watch when you're sick, when you're good, whenever it's just, whatever's playing in the background, we're just going to talk about all the fucking movies. So, fucking yes, let's do it. Hi, Marlene. I miss you. She's going to call me sweetie. Bet. Okay, so on this week's episode, top 10 movies, which I moved to 5 because I am so passionate about these movies. If you guys know me, I quote movies all motherfucking day. I quote songs. That's just like a part of like who I am as a person. So y'all get it. And if you guys haven't known me for that long, just know that I speak and people are like, I speak another class. No, I really do. And it's kind of, I annoy myself a lot of the time because it's quite frankly like, why do you want to hear this shit? Why is this shit being brought up right now? Why are you drinking and saying this shit? It's just who I am as a fucking person, you know? So, I don't know. But anyway, let's dive in. So, top 5 favorite movies. When I'm being asked my favorite movie of all time, and I'm sure that you guys have been asked this, whether it's like friend-wise or like relationship, like getting to know you type of shit. A lot of people judge you on what kind of movies that you watch or whatever. I get a pretty good feeling about people when they tell me their top 10 movies or their top 5 movies that they can watch like over and over. And I just kind of get like a good feeling, like, or a bad feeling about them. Like, it just depends on like their range and like what kind of movie. It's like I could kind of gauge who the person is. So it's not like really judging, it's just gauging your audience. That's what I'm gonna call it, and that's what it's gonna be known as. So when I'm asked what my favorite movie of all time, it's Death Proof. Always. It is a movie that has been written and directed by Quentin Tarantino, which I am sure that everyone has heard once in their life, which was Quentin Tarantino is this guy who's like balding and shit, and he is a fantastic director in my eyes, cinematography wise. Like, just I think that everything that he produces is just straight up gold. I love this man. A lot of people have different opinions about him, and I get it, but it's just like seeing it from a movie lover's eyes is just a whole nother fucking story. Like, I just like fangirl over him. I will legit cry if I ever get to meet this guy. Ever. So Death Proof is a Quentin Tarantino movie. It is the most underrated Quentin Tarantino film, I feel, next to Jackie Brown. Jackie Brown doesn't get enough praise as it should. It's a great fucking movie, and so is Death Proof. And a lot of people just like talk a lot of shit about it because they're like, oh my god, this has to be the slowest fucking start to a movie. But to me, it's just like he's describing everything as to why this guy is the way that he is, and then goes into the main thing. But you guys have to see it from that point of view. Like, I feel like he has to take you through this whole fucking before, then, after thing, and then you're like, okay, and then it switches off, and then everybody gets it. But everybody's like, no, it's too slow. I was like, no, I think it's absolutely fucking perfect, because it has everything that I need in a fucking movie. Like, it gives me a little backstory. It doesn't leave me hanging or anything like that. I just think that it's fucking great, and that's what I love about it. This movie itself has so much, and I'm on my laptop again, guys, so I am reading off just like I would on my little handy dandy notebook right here. Don't think I forgot about it. But this movie itself has so much fucking girl power. Like, it might not come off as so in the very fucking, back when it came out. I think it was like 2007, 2008 when it came out, around that time. I think it was a very empowering movie for me because of the ending itself was just like full on, fuck yeah. And I was like, hell yeah, I felt very empowered after watching it and very good about myself and shit like that. So I just think that it was the very, if you guys want me to put it in layman's terms, so this movie was basically like the dark version of Spice World. You know? So yeah. Quentin Tarantino himself is known for his music, his soundtrack, and things like that. He's talked about it multiple times. I think most recently at the Cannes Film Festival, about how he already has certain scenes, certain scenarios, things like that already picked out, but how are they going to play into the music? And he thinks about, like, you know, your whole life is a soundtrack, and like what's going to go along with those scenes and like things like that. Sorry guys, I had trail mix and it wasn't that great. Anyway, so yeah, the soundtrack itself just like changed my life and got me dipping into other music genres when I'm growing up as a strictly emo, elder emo, things like that. I just think that this was just such a good starting off point to like dip into other genres of music and things like that. So I absolutely love that. Basically, I need to move to Austin. Not move. Fuck that. I think I'll just go to Austin for like a day to live out my death proof fantasy. And this movie also has my favorite car of all time, which is a 1970 Dodge Challenger with a 440 engine. I think that car is so beautiful. If you guys have never seen Vanishing Point, I'm sorry, I'm stupid. Vanishing Point, it has that car and it goes so fast that he ends up running into himself and blah da 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 da. But it's the Vanishing Point car, and I'm just like, ooh, I just like got excited, and it just takes off from there basically. In the movie they have a tribute. Like, I love Quentin Tarantino movies because they often have Easter eggs in them, and I'm just like, hell yeah. So the car that oh my god, what's her name? Lana. No, not Lana. I'm sorry. So sorry, that's not her name. Who the hell does she play? I fucking forgot. But anyway, so basically her car is a tribute to the Pussy Wagon, which was in Kill Bill, and I fucking love that. I love that they still portray like Kill Bill in that. And yeah, it's just like, oh, Kim, that's her name, Kim. And I just thought of that right now. Kim's car is basically, it's yellow, and then it has black stripes on it, just like Uma Thurman's epic fucking outfit from Kill Bill. And it, on the back of it, it says Pussy Wagon, just like real small. And it's so cute, and I just like, oh, yay, okay, love that. So it was very, very cool. Let's see. Okay, so the plot of the movie itself is three friends driving to Austin to celebrate one of the girls' birthday, who is, her name is DJ Jungle Julia. So she is a local DJ there in Austin, and she's got billboards everywhere. She's like pretty, like, she's like a hometown celebrity, basically. And she reveals to her friends while they're out having margaritas at Guiro's, the place I need to go, reveals that she made a radio announcement offering a free lap dance from Arlene, which is one of the other girls. So there's three girls, right? So Arlene, who is played by the phenomenal Vanessa Ferlito. Vanessa Ferlito came out in The Sopranos, NCIS, Man of the House. The girl who plays Jungle Julia, she is the daughter of the late and great Mr. Sidney Poitier. She was in a show called Carter. It was Carter lasted only like, I think 2 seasons, maybe 2 or 3 seasons. And it was a great show. But just Sidney Poitier in this movie was just like so fucking epic and, amazing. So anyway, so she goes and she makes an announcement offering a free lap dance from Arlene in return for addressing her as Butterfly. So they basically read like this fucking, poem, and they buy her a drink reciting a segment from the poem, whatever. And if they do, then, you know, she's got to give them a lap dance. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like, all right, we're getting somewhere with this whole thing. So they end up going to like the Texas Chili Parlor, and they're like having drinks with these guys and like guys that they've known and shit like that, whatever. So this guy, this elder gentleman played by Kurt Russell, who is fucking phenomenal actor. First of all, baby. I love Kurt Russell. I love everything that he's done, everything, like all of his movies, even if they're shit. I love Kurt Russell as a person and as an actor. I think he is so genuine and like very true to all the roles that he's played. So I feel like this role in particular, where he was at in his age, was very fitting for him. And I just think it was made for him, literally. Like, I don't think any other actor at that point, in 2008 would have made a difference as opposed to Kurt Russell, because it's like, it's fucking Kurt Russell, you know? So I love it. So he plays this guy, he plays this guy called Stuntman Mike. And, he ends up like showing up to where they are. And it's like kind of freaky because he's like kind of stalking them. So he ends up following them to the bar. And then he does as a Jungle Julia had asked, was to talk to Arlene as Butterfly. He buys her a drink and then he ends up reciting the poem. So basically it's like, if not, so in the movie, they're like, okay, if you don't do this, then you're basically referred to as a fucking chicken shit. And you don't want to be known in Austin as a fucking chicken shit. Which is a quote from the movie, but, I digress. He said that whenever he had, introduced himself to Jungle Julia, he said that he noticed that her billboards were across town, and she is naturally just cold to him, just kind of like, who the hell are you, guy? Like, who are you? Like, honestly. And which is totally fair, because honestly, as a woman in any kind of bar scene or any kind of environment, if you come up to a guy and the guy just starts like spitting shit and you're just like not feeling it, you're just going to be very dismissive. And that's okay. Like, that's totally okay. So naturally I was like, oh, she was being a bitch. No, she wasn't. She was keeping her fucking guard up. She didn't know who the fuck this guy was. Fuck y'all. Type of shit. So he sits with the group, and then that's whenever he, like, says the whole fucking poem to Arlene. And she is, like, super suspicious, because she's just like, dude, I've seen you already around town today. Fucking, I know your car. I know who the fuck you are, blah, blah, blah. He ends up convincing her to give him a lap dance. However you want to take that is however you're going to take it. But, I mean, I guess. She does this fucking epic ass fucking lap dance to the song by the Coasters called Down in Mexico. And it is a fucking banger. I would totally do that for a future Mr. Deg. And it'll be great. So after all that happens or whatever, she like just kind of pays it no mind. She did her duty as a person, as, you know, whatever. So everyone's gonna leave with Lana, who is another friend to Shanna's family lake house, which is out in Lake LBJ. They're in Austin. And I'm still going into the first part, guys. I haven't even gotten to the juicy part yet. So fucking put your seatbelts on. So Pam, who ends up in the beginning of the movie, talks to Mike, and she's like, who is this guy? And he's just like being super sober, super lamb, and he's just like, I'm just kidding, guys. If you're super sober, like, that's cool. Like, I'm just like talking shit. But anyway, so Pam, she's like, needs a ride home, and then she accepts Mike's offer. Mike's like, you know, I'll take you home, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, all right, cool. But they end up going off in his car, which his car is like deemed as a fucking stuntman car. So it's rigged with a roll cage. And then from there, he like tells her that it is death proof. So once Pam is in the passenger seat, he reveals it's only death proof to the driver. So then he like fucks around and be's a fucking piece of shit. And he like kills her. I don't know if I'm giving too much away. I don't care. But, you know, whatever. Oh, cheers, Olivia. I miss you, boo. I'm going to have to grab another one. Hello. I also may need to break the seal again for the 18th time today. So he catches up with the girls. that are driving, and they're listening to this epic ass song by Dave D, Dozy, Beaky, Mick, and Titch. And if Pete Townsend was gonna quit the Who, that's making it Dave D, Dozy, Beaky, Mick, Titch, and Pete. I mean, if you ask me, he should have done it. I'm quoting the fucking movie. I can quote this movie all fucking day. And it brings out the super nerd in me because I love it. So basically he speeds and he slams on the brakes, smashing Pam's skull on the dash. No, sorry guys. I am totally like blah, blah, blah. So he crashes into the girl's car, killing all of them in it. And Sheriff McGraw, who comes to investigate, he believes that Mike's killed the women intentionally because Mike was sober when the women were intoxicated, and therefore he cannot be charged. So, and in the movie he states that he doesn't know if it's a personal vendetta that he has against women, or like, you know, he doesn't know what it is, if it could be a sex thing, if they just like rejected him and he was just like this fucking reject seeking revenge. Like, that whole part is unclear in the movie. Like, even to this day, I couldn't even tell you what it was. But to me, I feel like he was a reject, and he was rejected by all these women in Hollywood, and that he feels like women who are coming up to stardom and having big dick energy, he just can't compete with. So he goes and he does this bullshit. So, therefore, that's my theory about the whole thing. So that's the first part of the movie. I am going to go and take a quick restroom break, and then I'm going to come back for the second part of the movie. Like I said, people have said that the beginning is slow. I feel like it's filled with so much structure and so much enrichment that it'll be taken like into accountability for this next part. So you guys bear with me, like, share, all that stuff while I'm using the restroom real quick, and then we will jump back into the second part of Death Proof. And I'm hitting a bunch of cans. Hey y'all, how's it going? If you guys are just tuning in now, we are discussing the top 5 movies of my life. Woo. Hello, everybody joining in. Oh, bra strap showing. Okay, put this one away. I hear a bunch. I hear some piano. Yikes. Okay, so my nails can't, y'all. So sorry. Cheers. Woo! This show is dedicated to all movie buffs out there. People who love movies, people who watch movies, people who are watching my show right now for me to go over this top list or whatever. This one is dedicated to you guys. Okay, so about 14 months later, 3 young women, Abby, Kim, Lee, are driving through Lebanon, Tennessee, where they're shooting a film together. So it's like supposed to be this epic, I would say it was a like, how would I describe the movie that they described? It was like action packed, very much that type of thing. So yeah, so they all became like really good friends and, you know, things like that. So yeah, and I can't really talk too much. So they basically meet up their friend Zoe. And Zoe is a stunt woman there in New Zealand. They've all been friends for like so many years, except for Lily's kind of new. And they began like having breakfast, and then they run into, not that they run into, but this guy had been stalking them. So Stuntman Mike stalking them. And basically, they end up finding this 1970 Dodge Challenger with 440 engine, and Zoe's like, I want to play Ship Smash. So Ship Smash is basically driving this car, fucking American muscle car, through whatever fucking road, that fucking Tobacco Road, literally, like that's what they say in the movie, is Tobacco Road. And they, she straps herself on to each side of the mirror, like she is on the hood of the car. So she's on there, and then here's her body. She's like strapped, here's the car, woo, or woo, whatever. She's like strapped in, and then she just basically, like, Kim is going like ridiculously fast on it, and like there's just like some weird adrenaline thing that apparently these stunt people do. So it's just like you kind of have to go with it type of thing. So cool. Without giving, I can't give away the ending, even though I've given away so much of this movie. The ending is what really strikes it as girl power type of shit, because they end up meeting him, and it's just like this big ass car chase. It's a great time. I highly suggest everyone watch this movie. I love this movie so fucking much. It's the movie itself, it's the soundtrack, it's the cars, it's the action packedness, it's Kurt Russell, it's Rosario Dawson, who's also in this movie, and it's all of these. It's very Quentin, and you're just like, okay, I love it. Like, people that I've met who have seen Death Proof are just like, oh, let's not Planet Terror. Well, bitch, fuck you, your mind has not expanded. And then the other type of people that have never seen it, and then I show it to them, they actually like it. So, I mean, you know, find me some middle ground here. Like, don't fucking hate me for my likes of movies. I mean, if you do, you're clearly not cut for it. So anyway, so the cast of Death Proof is Rosario Dawson, and you guys know her from Sin City and Clerks 2 mainly. Like I mentioned, Vanessa Ferlito, she was in The Sopranos, NCIS, Man of the House. Jordan Ladd, who was Shanna Banana, not Shauna Banana. She was in Cabin Fever. Okay. Rose McGowan, who plays, what's her name? Pam. No, yes. She plays Pam. And she is a blonde goddess, but I do not prefer my Rose McGowan to be that blonde, but she was like super blonde. But she was also in the Grindhouse movie that was like shown before this, which was Planet Terror, where she plays the one-eyed. She plays the one-legged stripper, and she ends up having a fucking like Glock on her fucking leg, and she's like with her machine gun, and I think that's so punk rock. Love that. I would want that for me if I ever get my fucking leg amputated. But Rose McGowan, if you guys don't know who she is, she was in Charmed. She was Marilyn Manson's girlfriend. She was in Jawbreaker, which is another cult classic. And she was in Scream. She played Sydney's best friend, where she was also blonde. Okay. And I loved her in that movie. Like, I just loved it. Like I had mentioned earlier, it was Sidney Poitier, who was a 6-foot baby giraffe. Watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about. She, again, is the daughter of late and great Mr. Sidney Poitier. Tracy Thoms, who was in there, she was, she's the one who plays Kim. She was also in Rent with Rosario Dawson. She was in the show called Love. I miss that show. It had it had 3 seasons. Oh my gosh. If you guys have Netflix, please check it out. I will reference that show every now and again. I know there haven't been many people who have watched it, but I know that there's been a couple that have, and I'll reference it. And if they get it, I love it. I took a drink for that show. Carlito's Way. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is also in it. If you guys don't know her name, she was the one who played Ramona Flowers in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. She's got some battle scars, dude. She was also in 10 Cloverleaf Lane. She was in Sky High. She's a very well-rounded actress, in my opinion. I love that. Zoe Bell, who I had mentioned before. It's crazy because Zoe played Zoe. That was so cool. She is the absolute motherfucking queen of stunt women. Like, oh my God. If you guys ever just look her up, you'll see where she has stunt doubled for a lot of people. She did all the stunts in this movie. There was nobody who... I'm not giving too much away. There's a part where she flies off the fucking car. And she's literally the one who flies off the fucking car. No stunt double, no nothing. She is the stunt woman. She is incredible. I admire her so fucking much because she's amazing. And she also did all the stunts for Uma Thurman in Kill Bill. One scene in particular, Kill Bill, where Uma Thurman, when she's going against Go-Go, and she has the fucking chain wrapped around her neck. And, like, her eyes are bulging out and whatever. That's Zoe, by the way. Don't think that it's any other bitch or that was a computer, a CGI type of shit. It was Zoe. And I love that. I was like, oh, my God, that was an actual person. That is so fucking cool, which makes Kill Bill, like, up there, you know? She was also in Hateful Eight, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Oh, my God. She played one of the stunt guy's wife, which I thought was so fucking cool and badass. If you guys have not watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, highly, highly recommend. It didn't make it into my top 5, but also as an honorable mention because that was the last movie me and my dad went to go see before COVID. And my dad's like, I still watch it. Like, if it comes on Stars or whatever streaming service that we have, he's like, yeah, I'm watching it. I was like, yes. It's a great movie. Soundtrack is also great. I've already said that like 80 times, but you know, whatever. The best scenes from this movie are the lap dance scene, like I had mentioned previously. The Coasters Down in Mexico. That is still a great fucking song. Me and my brother jam that like on a regular basis because it's a great song. So the intro part outside the bar is also a very notable and great fucking scene because Jungle Julia is just like there laying out with her fucking long ass legs, and it's raining because it's in Austin, and you know it's Texas, so rain's gonna come regardless. And so she's like introducing herself and stuff like that, and it's just a great scene with Kurt Russell, her, and then Arlene, Vanessa Ferlito. It's just a great scene with all of them outside. The car ride before the big oops. Whenever they talk about, she's like, Jungle Julia calls and she requests a song, and they're like, who the fuck are they? And she's like, it's Dave D, Dozy, Beaky, Mick, and Titch. Okay, so this is the quote. At one point, Pete Townsend wanted to leave The Who to join them, thus making it Dave D, Dozy, Beaky, Mick, Titch, and Pete. And if you ask me, he should have done it. But I digress. So the argument about playing ship's smash that happens in the second part of the second leg of the film, the argument between Kim and Zoe is just so iconic. You just, whatever with you, however. That is just, I just love that. It was such a great scene for them to just get angry at each other and then like try to convince Kim to do it, because it was a lot, because Kim was just like so Zoe was like, I wanted to do this. And she's like, no, you're telling me that to not let you do this because you're going to try to convince me later on down the road to do this. It's just a great dynamic between both actresses, and it was so beautifully put together. The argument was just so great. The final scene is top notch. I'm not going to tell you guys what happened because I'm not that much of a spoiler. So, I mean, it is what it is. Hi, Zaya. I don't know if you're still watching, girl, but I'm over here fucking rambling about movies and shit. Talking about Death Proof, which is my favorite movie of all motherfucking time. Hello. Yeah, love you, miss you so much. Okay. So movie number two. Okay. So movie number 2 is Pulp Fiction. And no, guys, I am not going on a whole list of fucking just sheer Quentin Tarantino movies. It's just this movie. This movie is just a whole, it's a state of mind. It is. This movie has meant a lot to me growing up, and just like even now, like even in my 20s, like this movie is just always one of the movies that it's like a comfort movie for me, basically. And I love it. I've watched this movie entirely too much, and especially when I live by myself. So when it was on a loop for the most part. Somebody had pointed it out one time, like, is this the only movie you watch? So love that. I listen and I watch this movie while I cook, while I clean, etc. Just like with me and Quentin Tarantino, I just love his directing and his writing, and of course the soundtracks. The soundtrack, and in my point of view, I don't even think that it might be, now that I'm thinking about it. It's a standpoint for the music to go with the movie, and I think I've incorporated that in watching other movies as well, not just directed by Quentin Tarantino, but just other people, and like what music that they use and how they have incorporated that, and you know, things like that. So and the one thing that I love about his movies is like each movie soundtrack stands alone, and I often think that my life is intertwined with it. So I love it. And I think that my whole fucking life is a whole big soundtrack that I'm just like, huh? Yeah. I don't know. I'm just geeking out over here. But I feel like in this Pulp Fiction, I feel like I have main character energy. If I were to be set in a Quentin Tarantino movie, I have main character energy. But I'm not even a main character though. Like, it's just so crazy. The cinematography is impeccable in this movie. Just their scenes and how it's shot and everything in between. It is just impeccable. I don't know how to go into full-on description about cinematography. Just the way things are shot, the way that the movie shifts and things like that. I think that it is great. I just can't get enough of it. It was just period. To go into the plot of the movie, it is Mr. Vincent Vega and Jules Winifred. Okay, so Vincent Vega is played by John Travolta, and Jules Winifred is played by Samuel L. Jackson. You guys, I'm sure, have seen that infamous picture of them in suits, skinny ties, pointing the gun. That's the movie. That's the movie that it's referencing. That's not the whole movie. But I didn't know that Joel's last name was Winfield until now. To be honest, when I was looking up stuff and I was like doing my research and things like that, I didn't know that that was Jules' name. Like, I just thought it was fucking Jules. So I was just like, whatever. So those two guys, Vincent and Jules, they are hitmen with a penchant for philosophical discussions, which is a great dynamic that John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson has shared on screen, and I'm sure off screen, because if it's not off screen, then that's really fucking good acting, because I just, those two together, it's impeccable for me because of this movie. And yeah, so in this ultra hit multi-strand crime movie, Their storyline is interwoven with those of their boss, who is a gangster, Mr. Marcellus Wallace, which is played by Ving Rhames. His actress wife, had my 15 minutes, Mrs. Mia Wallace. Struggling boxer Butch Coolidge, which is played by Bruce Willis. Master Fixer, which is Winston Wolfe. You sent in the Wolf? Who is played by Harvey Keitel. And I love Harvey Keitel so much. He's adorable. I'm going to put him in my pocket. And then it intertwines with a nervous pair of armed robbers who is called Pumpkin, who is Tim Roth. And I'm sure him and Eli Roth are very much, I haven't looked into that part, but I'm pretty fucking sure that they're related. And by Honey Bunny, which is Amanda Plummer. So it's a great fucking movie. It's just, not that there's so many things that are going on at one time. The way that it shifts and the way that it all comes together at the end, it's just a fucking masterpiece, because you're just like, okay, this is where we're starting, and then, oh, we're going into this. Okay, that's where that's at. Oh, we're going into this. Oh, it leaps back to the first thing. Okay, cool. And it's just like one of those things that you have to like kind of keep up with, and I think that's what makes the movie so great, because it like makes you think, and then it makes you go back, and it makes you like reverberate, and all of that good stuff in between. To me, the best scenes are when Jules and Vincent walk in to get the briefcase. So before they walk in to get the briefcase, like they open up the trunk, and then Vincent's like, we should have had fucking shotguns for this. And then they walk in there. And so cool, Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson, I think, really defined himself and defined who, what kind of actor he is, because this whole commentary and everything, God, what's the word that I'm looking for? It's not commentary. It's, definitely not his way with words is his deliverance, and the script, how beautifully it was written and how well he was able to deliver it, was just so impeccable and fantastic, and any other word that I cannot think of because I'm drinking. I just thought it was great. So when they walk in to get the briefcase and the shitty ass fucking apartment, oh my god, just that whole scene was just amazing. He recites this one verse from Ezekiel 25:17, Path of the Righteous Man. And I want that on my tombstone. I don't even care. I want that shit on my fucking tombstone, because it's just fucking perfection as the way he delivers it, and then the way he like fucking that whole fucking room. And so basically that's a great fucking scene. But on their way to this shitty ass fucking apartment, they talk about Vincent's trip to Amsterdam. So they're in this car. They're in like this badass car, which I don't even know what kind of fucking car it is, but it's a great fucking car. Anyway, so they're over here talking about Vincent's trip to Amsterdam, doing God knows what. Like nobody really says what Vincent's doing in Amsterdam, but we think that it's some like gangsta ass shit, and we just leave it at that, and we don't ask any questions. So so he starts describing customs at McDonald's specifically, and he's like, do you want to know what they call like a quarter pounder with cheese? And he's like, well, what do they call it? And he's like, a Royale with cheese. And that is a huge staple in any cinematic moment, because I don't even care when I'm at McDonald's, like, I want a Royale with cheese, even though I don't get it, because dollar menu, hello. And he's like, well, what? And then Jules was like, well, what do they call the Big Mac? He goes, well, the Big Mac's a Big Mac, but they call it La Big Mac. So I love it. And that's just a very quotable fucking movie. I love it. Another scene that just makes this movie is the dance scene. So if you guys are ever curious about how my wedding will go and the dance that me and my dad decide to do, just look up the dance from Pulp Fiction. One of Vincent's jobs is to take Mia Wallace, who is Marcellus Wallace, his boss, wife, out while he's out. So he's doing this just like as a courteous thing, and he makes that known, like, you know, this ain't nothing, you know, out of the ordinary. But he just takes her out and whatever, and then they're at this place which is just like basically like a 50s joint, and she's like, I want to dance, I want to win, I want that trophy. So he's like, okay, because his specific instructions were to take Mrs. Wallace out and do whatever the fuck she wants to do. So he's, you know, he's just, you know, he understood the assignment, so he did that. And they end up entering this twist contest, and they win. And she introduces him, Mr. Vince Vega. And you, ma'am, Mrs. Mia Wallace. I love it. So they end up dancing to the song by Chuck Berry called Never Can Tell. It's a great song. I think it's gorgeous. I love it. And they win. It's epic. Like I said, check it out on YouTube, because that whole dance scene is a whole fucking revelation. Even though you guys don't even know what the fucking Batman is, or a lot of people don't know what the Batman is, that's what's happening. Yes, that's happening. I take a drink for fucking that. Another scene that is great from this fucking movie is whenever Mia Wallace ODs. So, poor girl. They just finished winning the fucking twist contest, and she is wearing Vincent's jacket. Earlier in the movie, Vincent went to get hero juice, hero plus INE, and he ends up stashing that shit because he didn't have any balloons, because apparently that's what you keep it in. I don't know, I don't do that. So yeah, so they didn't have any balloons, so they just put it like in a plastic baggie. So Mia Wallace, she is living the life of a gangster's wife, and she thought that it was a little bit of the sugar booger, and so she ends up cutting it up and everything like that, takes a line of it, ends up ODing. He ends up coming out from the restroom seeing her like that. So he takes her to the drug dealer's house, and they give her a shot of adrenaline to the heart. Everything in those scenes, those multiple scenes, everything about it is just fan-fucking-tastic, and you're just like, oh shit, didn't know that that was possible, but yes, that's happening. Another part of the movie, I wouldn't say it was the best scene per se, but the gimp costume, the whole thing behind Zed, and with Booch, I say Booch, I don't say Butch, I say Booch, because that's the way that Miss Villalobos had pronounced it in the movie. But anyway, that scene is very disturbing. And if you're not ready for it, then just know that you need to be ready for it at one point or the other, because it's pretty fucking epic, I'd say. But this whole movie, I give it an 11 out of 10. Watch repeatedly. You know the vibes. So, yes, very much that. Love that. Okay. So number three. You guys don't be alarmed. I am taking my vape. And if you guys don't know, I am also on YouTube, so you guys can watch this live on my page, or you guys can go to YouTube and watch it there. Yeah, I just uploaded stuff, so I figured out how to do that, and I'm very fucking proud of myself. So this third movie, I'm geeking out already. I am so stoked about it, because it's not a Quentin Tarantino movie, so in case you guys are wondering, it's not. Whew. Guys, I'm gonna take a drink for this movie before I reveal, because I'm gonna go blah blah blah. I'm gonna like stutter and sputter all over the damn place, and it's great. Sorry, that hurt somebody behind me. Pardon me. It's really cold. But anyway, any person that I have met, or, you know, whatever, I quote this movie ridiculously And I don't know if it's just like one of those like little ticks that I have where I feel like I need to quote a movie every time I meet somebody, but it's just the vibe I give off. So yeah. So without further ado, the third movie on the top 5 list is Wayne's World. Wayne's World, Wayne's World, party time, excellent. Woo, 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 woo. And we're clear. Anyway, so y'all. Hi, Irene. I'm sorry I'm so late. Miss you. Welcome back to the live, girl. Welcome back to the live. Oh my God. I haven't had this on the whole time. Everybody see me in the dark? Do you not see me in the dark? Dogs barking. The huge. Anyway, so y'all, I was typing this whole part out with like my little heart, so you guys just like be ready. So okay, y'all, this movie was a true breakout role, and I'm not even talking about me right here, guys. This movie was a true breakout role for the untouchable, the incomparable, the stunning, the beautiful, the magnificent Mike Myers. Not to confuse him with Michael Myers. So, I wish I could put into words without getting all tongue-tied about how much this movie means to me. So, I don't know how else to tell you guys that this movie... I am going to get tongue-tied while talking about this movie because this movie means so fucking much to me. Like, it is a huge staple in my life. I don't know. I'm going to try. It has everything. It has Bestie's own public access show, which is one day something that I hope to claim in my name. My own public access show where everybody can, you know, fucking shoot the shit on live TV, whatever. This is good. It has Tia Carrere, and she is a babe, like an absolute babe. A lot of people are like, oh, have you seen her? I don't give a shit how she looks now. Like, the bitch has money. She has more money than I do, so I don't even care. Bohemian Rhapsody. That scene was so great. It has laughs, heartbreak, love, live music. It has Rob Lowe. Y'all, this movie just makes me so fucking happy. It gives me a state of elation and of pure serotonin, and just like everything about it to me is just so great. I don't know how else to describe this movie other than chef's kiss, you know? So honestly, if I'm gonna be like real with you guys, can I get real with you guys for like a second? More like 18 seconds, more like a whole fucking hour. This movie probably is a main contributor to Drinks with Dag, so you guys hear me out, even though you guys are just like, this bitch is fucking crazy. You guys probably thought that outside my lives, but I mean, you know, whatever. Which is why I go like this a lot. Because of this movie. Like, everything that Mike Myers was portraying and everything that he was going through in the movie, I was like, I can see that for me. I just don't know what it is, but I see that for me. I see that him having his own public access show with his bestie. My bestie is my editor, so I just kind of feel like that goes hand in hand. And it was just kind of like the subliminal thing in my life where he was on TV entertaining people with dumbass shit, and you know, just the fuckery and just like whatever, and just having this wild and out like fucking TV show, and just him just being genuinely happy with what he does. And in my mind, I think that that's what I always wanted to do with Drinks with Dag, and I think that that is so fucking important, just number one, top notch. So yes, that's happening. I love that. This movie means a lot to me, y'all. I quote this movie at least once a day. At least, guys. Like, if you guys ever had me in conversation, I will bring up this fucking movie. I don't give a And I'm pretty sure I've annoyed people by it, so that's fair. They came out recently to present at the Oscars, whenever Bohemian Rhapsody came out, which is probably a few years ago, probably like 3-4 years ago. I screamed when I saw both Dana Carvey and Mike Myers together. I was like, what is happening? What? I said that to myself 87 times during that whole span whenever they were zooming in on them. And they're basically talking about how not the movie, but the song itself, Bohemian Rhapsody, was a major contributor to how successful the movie was. And there was, I don't know if it's a rumor, but I know that it was told that Freddie Mercury did see the Bohemian Rhapsody scene it before he had passed. So I thought that just like was such sentimental value and a lot of that. But the way that they described it, they're just like, yeah, that movie would not have been possible without Bohemian Rhapsody. And I was just like, you guys don't understand how much that I jammed that in my car and like everything like that. Like that song gives me serotonin in general, but like the elevation of it because of this movie is just like Bohemian Rhapsody, Wayne's World, da-da-da, and then you just like rock out during that one part. And it's a great fucking time. And you just like, and people in your car have to know that vibe. And if they don't know that vibe, just kick them out. And you just do that shit. If they cannot jam out to this movie, like, with their clam out, then I just can't fuck with you. Like, I love this movie so fucking much that Bohemian Rhapsody is just, like, queen in my life in general. It's just, like, a huge thing. Anyway, I'm rambling. Anyway, so the plot of this movie, according to the interwebs, is a big screen spin-off of the Saturday Night Live skit. So if you guys, I wasn't alive during this, because I didn't watch, Wayne's World is one of the earliest movies that I've ever watched as a kid, and one of the earliest movies that I have a memory of, and I'll talk about that in another movie. But yes, so apparently, oh my god, Lorne Michael, I think that's who it was. I'm probably never going to be offered a skit on SNL because I don't know Lorne Michael's name, but it's Lorne Michaels. I'm a little feeling good. Anyway, so Lorne Michaels decided to just fucking spin off this fucking skit because it was so great. It was loved by everybody, and it turned into a good chunk of my life, and I love that. Martha, you right, girl. You right. We're almost there, okay? Paciente. Be patient. Oh, okay. So, anyway, so it's a big... Click back on my computer because I was talking so fucking much. So it's a spinoff of the Saturday Night Live skit. Rob Lowe, the beautiful, the magnificent Rob motherfucking Lowe, plays a producer who wants to take the public access Wayne's World to the world of commercial television, which is what I hope somebody tries to do with my show. Wayne, who is played by the magnificent Mike Myers, and Garth, who is played by the incomparable Dana Carvey, battle to save their show and Wayne's girlfriend from Lowe. So apparently it's like a huge thing. I'm going to go into further detail about this movie if you guys have not seen it. So in Aurora, Illinois, it's like the small suburb outside of Chicago. Rock music fans, and apparently they're heavy metal fans. That's what they were described as. And I was like, okay, cool. Wayne Campbell and Garth Algar host a public access television show, Wayne's World, from Wayne's parents' basement. It looks like Wayne's basement, but it's not Wayne's basement. Isn't that weird? Garth, you just made a haiku. Anyway, so I need to stop. A broadcast of Wayne's World catches the attention of television producer Benjamin Kane. So Benjamin is like laying in bed with the lady that he just recently clapped cheeks with. And she's like flipping through the TV. They have like a pizza, and after they just did the do or whatever. And basically after they just had that sexy time. And I'm not even mad at that, because you know what? That's all I want in my life, is to have sexy time and then pizza. But anyway, so they're like flipping through the channels, and she's just like, "You never seen them before? Oh my God, you're so lame." And so, because Benjamin is like up his own ass better than everyone, super skank. So he just didn't even know that this was like a thing here in, in Aurora or Chicago or like anywhere in Illinois. So he was just like, okay. He's like, these guys are kind of dumbasses, but they seem like very gullible dumbasses. So, I'm going to make whoopee to this woman and then figure that shit out in the morning. And he does. So, while out cruising with friends in Garth's car, the Mirthmobile. It's a gremlin. It's cute. It's adorable. If you guys need to Google it, look up the Mirthmobile. It's Mirthmobile. Wayne stops to admire a 1964 Fender Stratocaster in the shop window. It will be mine. Oh, yes, it will be mine. Anyway, they later go to a nightclub where they avoid Wayne's troubled ex-girlfriend, Stacy, while Wayne falls for Cassandra Wong, a vocalist and bassist in the band of Crucial Taunt. I love it. And impresses her with his cat knees. So that was like a whole nother thing, though. Oh my God. Can't believe what I'm reading. So on and so forth. Wayne and Garth end up becoming these sellouts, and they sell their show to like mainstream television or whatever. They just didn't realize where the fucking ink met the fine print, basically. So they just like signed because they thought everything was going to be good, everything's great, whatever. He ends up convincing Cassandra to like sign with Rob Lowe's character, Benjamin. And it's like a whole fucking shit show once the show goes to shit. Once he finds out, like, on the show, he's like, you're fucking contracted, this is what you have to do. And then it's like, it's a choice of a new generation. Anyway, so yeah, so basically Wayne is just like, this guy's kind of a piece of shit. Like, he fucking like robbed me of like my actual show. This is not what I wanted. This is not what I signed up for. But Benjamin's like, you took the $5,000 and you have this contract, so you need to fucking figure it out. So Wayne like walks out like in this huge chaotic mess, and poor Garth is just there, just like trying to handle the shit on his own. They end up meeting up, talking shit to each other, blah, blah. And we'll go to Cassandra, who also signed with Benjamin. And yeah, she was going to get her big fucking record deal with this guy, with Benjamin. And it just wasn't happening. Like, Wayne was like, no, dude, like, you need to quit this. She's like, fuck you. Like, just because you threw away your shit doesn't mean I'm going to throw away mine, which is a power move. And she just did. And I don't know. So the rest of the movie is just kind of like all over the place, but that's just the main spoof of what I can tell you guys from what my knowledge is. Anywho. So once Wayne and Garth like made up, they like reconcile, and they hatch out a scheme to win Cassandra back by getting her a record deal by Mr. Big. Okay, I'm saying because there's like a big scene in there with Alice Cooper. It's great. She tells him to go home whenever Wayne shows up, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, the movie has a very happy ending to it, and it's great. Just like the way that everything's like played out, kind of mocking those movies that are supposed to be made, like Oscar-winning, Oscar-worthy movies, and shit like that. And I love how they mocked that. That they're just like, dude, we're just like a skit, and we're just like, gonna mock you guys. Because that's what SNL was about before it got like hella political. And they were just like having a good time with it, whatever. But yeah, it was great. Great fucking movie. I love it. 18 out of 10. Would recommend. And if you want the way to my heart, that's how you do it. Is you watch Wayne's World and you quote it with me. Because you instantaneously, I will give you my ring size and just like shove the papers over and be like, just sign it. We're married. So the best quotes, of course, are from the theme, the opening to Wayne's World is Wayne's World, party time, excellent. So, that's great. So, whenever they're going to the Stratocaster at first, before they sign onto, with Benjamin, it is so, I love it. I love the cinematography aspect of it because it's like there's an interviewer or somebody that's going around behind Wayne and Garth that's just like interviewing them. Very much like Parks and Recreation, very much like The Office and things like that. Like they have the whole camera crew or whatever, like filming this and shit like that. So it's just a good time. So Wayne is going to this like fucking like guitar store or whatever, and it's like after hours. It's already, they've already finished their public access show. So he goes up to it, and then Garth is like, "You can't afford it. Live in the now." And that's like very much something that I say to my brothers like all the time. It's great. When they meet Alice Cooper at this show that Benjamin had given, and then was 2 backstage passes to Alice Cooper. Oh, wow, thanks. But, yeah, so they basically go up to Alice Cooper, and they're just like, "We're not worthy. We're not worthy." And that, like, people have done spoofs off of that. And I'm just like, makes me happy. Makes me so happy. I've been on for a little bit over an hour. Okay. Hi, Jessica. Hi. Okay. Oh, okay. So we're going to go. Oh my God. Are we going to make it to 5? Yes, we are. Okay. So, like I said, can't afford it. Living in there. Blah, blah. And they're getting their car inspected by their friend who was just like a freaking drunken asshole the night before. And they're like, "Garth, marriage is punishment for shoplifting in some countries." That is a great line. So when Wayne and Cassandra first start dating, they go into that guitar shop because Cassandra is a guitarist and she's just a mega babe. And so he's like, he gets the fucking guitar and he starts playing. And he's like, the guy points over to the sign and it says, "No stairway to heaven." And it's above a staircase. And I thought it was so funny. But he's like, "No stairway, denied." And then like when they're trying to get everything back in place for like Wayne and Cassandra to get back together or whatever, fucking Garth goes, "If Benjamin were an ice cream flavor, he'd be pralines and dick." I thought that was such a great line. Yeah. So, in the midst of the movie, like in the very beginning, it's established that Wayne has an ex-girlfriend, okay? So she comes by, and then she's like, "Happy anniversary." And then, so he's like, what? He goes, "If it's a severed head, I'll be very upset." And I say that a lot on my birthday when I get gifts. So, like, he opens up the present or whatever, and he goes, "What is it?" She's like, "It's a gun rack." And he's like, "A gun rack?" And she's like, that's what she does in the fucking movie. She goes, if you guys, I want to put this on so you guys can hear it, but she's like lengthening her face, and she's like, she's just like, "Yeah, that's what it is." She was like so stoked about it. And he's like, "A gun rack? I don't even own a gun, let alone many guns that would necessitate an entire rack. What am I supposed to do with the gun rack? You don't like it? Fine. You know, Wayne, if you're not careful, you're gonna lose me. I lost you 2 months ago. Are you mental? We broke up. Get the net." I say that very frequently. Like, I'm not even dating anybody, but I like to say that. Also, a very notable quote from this movie is swing, swing, swing. I can't describe to you guys what swing is without getting banned on Facebook or any other platform. So you guys just look that shit up. It's a feeling that you feel. Swing is a feeling like over something that you're overexcited about, whether it's a person, a hot person, anything in your life. It's swing. So anyway, and like I said, like they like to like post these things in the movie where they're just kind of poking fun at the other movies that are coming out, and if it's Oscar worthy and things like that. So like Wayne gets like this big ass speech to Cassandra, and he's like, "Am I supposed to be a man?" And then he like dips into the water, like to a pitcher of water that they have, and he like throws it in his face. He's like, "Am I supposed to say it's okay? I don't mind. I don't mind. Well, I mind big time." And you know what? And she just like stays still for like 2 seconds. "The worst part is, I never learned to read." And she's like, "Is that true?" He's like, "Yeah, all of it except for the reading part." It was just great. And of course, Garth has to come in with like his shit. And he's just like, so whenever Wayne and him are sitting on the top of their gremlin, and he's just like, you know, asking about, you know, what Garth thinks about Cassandra. He's like, "Yeah, she's a babe. She's a robo babe. She's magically babelicious." One of the notable parts of that whole, like, back and forth, like, a banter is, if she were a president, she'd be Abraham Lincoln. The best. The absolute best. So anyway, so what I'm trying to say is that movie is just fucking great to me. And I love it. So, anyway. Moving on to movie number 3. Okay, so movie number 3 in the top 5 list for me is Clueless. Clueless is that number 3? No, that's number 4. Pulp Fiction, Death Proof, 3. That's number 4. Sorry. Number 4. We'll cut that out. It is Clueless. Clueless is one of the earliest memories I have as a kid, and that movie was just, it's so nostalgic for me because I definitely think of myself as way mature for my age, and at that age when me watching it, I should not have been watching this movie, but nonetheless, it is just so impeccable. Like the fashion, the lingo, the epicness of Alicia Silverstone, to say the least, was just like great. It's a cult classic. It has everything that you need in a fucking 90s movie, guys. It has beepers, it has huge ass cell phones, it has a Jeep, which is the first car I ever wanted on this green planet, was a Jeep. Very California of me, right? Whatever. The fashion was just like, another, like reflecting back at it, and especially in the time that we're in right now, where everything is reverting back to the 90s. I just love it. Like, I'm like, okay, cool. So now I get to live this like in my 30s now. Well, like whenever the 90s started to come back, I was in my 20s. So I was able to like relive that and like things that I didn't think I was able to pull off back then because I was so small and being dressed by my mother and my father. And I'm just like, hell yeah, grunge every day. Every motherfucking day for me. It also included the first crush of my life. The first celebrity crush that I ever had in my whole fucking life. It's a tie. This is something that I cannot stress enough. The first 2 crushes that I ever had in my fucking life, which will tell you so much about me now, which I didn't realize I came into my own person. First crush I ever had was Paul Rudd and Clueless. I just thought he was so cute and he was adorable. I was like, oh. And Marilyn Manson, but you know, I just can't go into depth about Marilyn Manson, but I loved him so much. I thought he was so weird. I thought he was so cool because nobody else was like him. But Paul Rudd, he was just adorable. Guy next door, dorky, adorable, doable, all that. What were my parents doing and they were not monitoring me? Like, why did I have this crush on this man that was significantly older than me? Which he doesn't look that old now. So I think I can get it. Pretty sure. I don't know how my name would sound as a Rudd, but I'm pretty sure Paul the Whale would sound perfectly cool. Anyway. Paul Rudd. Yes, Monica, you are so right. Paul Rudd is so damn sexy. Hello, new people that are watching. Hello, hello. Oh my God. I look terrible. Okay, so we're going to dive into the plot of this freaking movie here. I honestly couldn't describe this movie without quoting it the whole fucking time. Like, I'll quote the whole movie before I even describe it to you. Like, that's so stupid and benign, but I mean, that's what it is. So, according to the interwebs, a shallow, rich, and socially successful Cher, which is like, if I could turn back time. Cher? Not her, but it's played by Alicia Silverstone, but that's her name. And it's still spelled the same, Cher. Is at the top of her Beverly Hills High School's pecking scale. So basically, if you guys, even now, there's cliques and there's shit like that. She was basically the baddest bitch at her high school because of her, like, status or whatever. You know? I didn't care. I got along with everybody. Anyway. So, seeing herself as a matchmaker, Cher first courses two teachers into dating each other, which I thought was so sweet because they were just two people just living their life but not with each other, and I thought it was so admirable that she started doing that. I thought it was so cute. I loved it. Emboldened by her success, she was like on this fucking high from like doing that shit or whatever. There's a new girl that comes into school, which is played by my motherfucking girl, Brittany Murphy, the late and great bad bitch. She decides to give hopelessly klutzy new student Ty, which is T-A-I, by Brittany Murphy, a makeover. So she ends up having, like, introducing her, just like, oh my God, this girl needs me, and like, she's the one that's clueless. Like, she even says that this girl is undeniably clueless, is what she says. And she's just like, oh my God, this girl just needs me. Like, I think if I take her under my wing, it'll just make things so much better for her. And one less person I can, like, save from teenage hell, basically. So there's, like, this one weird incident in the movie where she just, like, gets unsolicited clout from a dangerous situation that she was in. She ends up becoming more popular than Alicia Silverstone, Cher. And then Cher realizes that her disapproving ex-stepbrother, which is played by the motherfucking sexy Paul Rudd, was right about how misguided she was, and she ends up falling for him, basically. She realizes that she created, like, this quote-unquote monster, even though Ty was totally cool by herself. She just totally rendered her into her own monster and ends up, like, building a clone of herself, and the clone ends up taking, you know, going after the one thing that she cared about, which was Josh, which is her stepbrother. It's a weird concept, guys. I'm not even gonna front about that. Ew. It's weird. That's a whole weird thing to me, but Paul Rudd is just like, oh my God. I would probably have to, yeah, I would hate for my stepbrother to be Paul Rudd. I wouldn't be okay with that. I would have to divorce and, like, emancipate myself from the family in order to have that simple thought of Paul Rudd being sexy. But I'm glad that's not the case. But anyway, this movie is just like a cult classic within itself. Like, also, again, the music was great. It just embodied everything that every 90s person was just, like, in and about. And it's just, like, this very far-off adaptation of Emma, which is a book. But it is very, very close and similar to, like, the whole plot and everything. So it's just, like, very a 90s take on the book, Emma. So, and mucho kudos to that. So some of the great quotes from this movie is, as if, whatever, as if. It's a great fucking deliverance. It's very 90s verbiage and slang that we used and things like that. So I just love it because it was very much in that fucking peak of that time. So basically when she gets told off, at least, Cher gets told off by Ty. She's like, Ty goes over there with like this fucking shoebox of bullshit from Alton, which is they go to the Val party, she ends up falling for him, blah blah blah. She's like, okay, Ty, do that, blah blah. Anyway, so she comes over, she's like, I am over him, blah blah blah. And so Alicia Silverstone was just like, Cher in the movie was just like, why would you even like Josh? Like, you know, she was kind of just hindering her and harboring her emotions for Josh and stuff like that. And she's like, and she just came home. She just failed her epic driving test. It was just a bad day for her. So then Ty being there, she's like, okay, I have to like accommodate this bitch type of shit. She's like, so basically after that whole thing goes and Ty's just like, you're a virgin who can't drive. Mic drop. Fucking mic drop. That is like literally one of the best like fucking fire ass shit to ever come out of somebody's mouth. Like, and then she's like, that was way harsh, Ty. She was like, you built me into this monster. What did you expect? Like, that was her, like, her pupil, her disciple and shit like that. Fucking turned on her. What the fuck? That was fucked up. Well, anyway, so she just like, is like the fucking, and the eye roll that Brittany Murphy just like delivered was into the next century. Like, nobody can top that. I don't care who says otherwise. And when they first meet Ty, like Amber, the girl who plays Amber, I forgot her name. But it's something, oh my god, I don't remember her name. And I have Google right in front of me, but I'm trying not to use Google. Is it something Donovan? Lisa Donovan? Some shit like that. Anyway, I know I'm along those lines. I know that for a fucking fact. She's like, she could be a farmer in those clothes. And like, there was this one scene where they're discussing like Cher's virginity. And then they're like, fucking Dion's like, she's saving herself for Luke Perry. And a lot of people don't understand that reference, but Luke Perry, he was very like very cute, very handsome, very bad boy-ish. May he rest in peace, guy from 90210. And so basically she was saving herself for the right guy. So they're basically just like fucking taunting her being a virgin, basically. And, you know, whatever. She's like, well, you see how picky I am about my shoes, and they only go on my feet. Which is that transpires in just so much. Why people don't want to have sex, and, like, they want to do this and that, whatever. If you're picky about your shoes and how they go on your feet, you should be very picky and selective about your partners. I'm just saying. So that's where Cher was going with that. So, rolling with the homies. That was a very fucking great scene. The whole Christmas party scene was the fucking Val party. It was a party in the valley. She ends up getting in super big trouble. Ends up getting robbed. It's a great fucking time. So, yeah. Rolling with the homies. I often say that a lot. Not a lot. I think I should start saying it more. Saying it more. Travis's big ass speech about tardiness. So he basically, like, Travis is like this fucking like stoner dude, and they're like, Mr. Hall was like being completely sarcastic about him having the most tardies and congratulations, blah blah. So everyone starts fucking applauding, and he goes up and he like gives like this huge ass speech. It's like so stupid. But he also has a very memorable quote, which I use very often, which I say, 2 enthusiastic thumbs up. Fine holiday fun. And he's like a skater, like stoner dude. And so he has a skateboard like in the seat of his chair. And he has his like legs like perched over it with this fucking skateboard, right? So he's just like, they're like, Travis? And like talking about Cher's speech. And he's just like, 2 enthusiastic thumbs up. Fine holiday fun. And he just sounds like this goofy ass smile. Like, but I ended up having a crush on him later. So I don't know what to tell you. Anyway. And then Cher's like giving like this speech whenever she starts falling for a gay dude, Christian. And so she's like making like this epic ass speech. She's like, and may I please remind you that it does not say RSVP on the Statue of Liberty. And she has fucking gum. Gum was a very huge thing in the 90s, guys. Like, gum, you were not a person if you didn't have fucking gum. If you weren't chewing that shit all the fucking time. Like, it was stupid how much that was a trend. But then she ended up having it, like, in her fucking finger, and was just, like, not fucking Violet Beauregard, where she, like, fucking, like, had that shit behind her fucking ear. Violet Beauregard from Willy Wonka, one of the best fucking movies ever made. Not in the top 5, but definitely one of my fucking favorites. But anyway, she just had it on there. She was just like, it does not say RSVP on the Statue of Liberty. She was giving, like, very big dick, like, very Congress, like, energy, and I just, like, love that for her. Like, Congress speech energy. I just love it. So, definitely respect it more now. And, you know, yeah. So, that movie's just, like, so fucking great to me. Like, I just loved it. And the last one, man, I have to go to the restroom again. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go to the restroom. We're gonna finish this fucking last movie in my top 5, because I've been fucking rambling for over an hour. And we're gonna make this fucking drink. Talk about whatever fucking movies that you guys want to talk about. Like, any honorable mentions that you guys think are just, like, in your top 5. And just, I've watched a lot of movies. I've seen a lot of movies in my life. So, I'm sure that whatever you guys come up with, that I can totally flow with. And we're going to make this podcast a fucking podcast. So, I'll be right back. Give me 2 minutes. And we're going to do that. Alrighty. Excuse the beer clanking. Beer cans clanking. Did you guys enjoy Paxel, like, coming into here? Coming into this live? A little crazy. Hi, Ange! Hey, hey, hey. Like, share, everything. Woo! Okay. So, after this last movie, which is the number 5 of the top 5 today, is we're going to make this drink, and then we're going to talk about some honorable mentions. Hello. I'm going to revert back to my Facebook page because not everybody, but there were some pretty good movie suggestions from my friend Martha. So, I loved it. I loved it. Okay. So, so this movie is another movie that I watch while I'm sick. Because it is another comfort movie for me. The next birthday party will be this theme. Again, the soundtrack is great. It's a movie for all ages, definitely. I did watch this movie at a very young age, but I've carried this movie on since then, and I just absolutely love it. So without further ado, the number 5 movie is Shrek. So, I just love it. It's funny, it's cute, it's entertaining. It made it into my 30s. Hell yeah. I call one of my best friends of all time, Val, I call her my lord. It's just a great movie with quotes, and it also has Mike Myers in it. So, hello. I just can't get enough of it. It's just so great. And the great thing about Shrek is that, to me, I feel like this movie ranges from, the quotes range from the first movie all the way to the last movie, which I technically don't know what it is because they've made like maybe 4 or 5 of them. So I love that. I love that this movie has multiple quotes. So, yeah, just don't think because it's Mike Myers because I think it's a theme. It's not. In this movie, he gets very fat bastard vibes, and I love it. I love it's just a great fucking movie. It is, in my opinion. So, without further ado, here is the plot of this movie. Once upon a time in a faraway swamp. What are you guys doing in my swamp? There lived an ogre named Shrek, who was played by Mike Myers, which I mentioned, whose precious solitude is suddenly shattered by an invasion of annoying fairy tale creatures. So basically, he's like living his best life. He was in a toilet reading about fairy tales and shit like that. And one day he wakes up and there's fucking fairy tale creatures like all over his fucking swamp. Like this house that he built and this acre of fucking land that he has. They just like came and said, fuck it. And they all just started like, they were all squatters. So it was great. They were all banished from their kingdom by the evil Lord Farquaad, who was played by John Lithgow. John Lithgow, if you guys, Third Rock from the Sun, Dexter, How I Met Your Mother, and things like that. Like, I'm so like, I need for him to do the accent. Like, I just need it. He goes, run, run, run. You know, the whole gingerbread man spiel. If you haven't seen it, I'm so sorry. Determined to save their home, not to mention his, Shrek cuts a deal with Farquaad after this epic ass scene that he has up against these other guys, which is in the ring. And he struck a deal with Farquaad and sets out to rescue Princess Fiona, who is played by the retired, the best, Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz. To be Farquaad's bride, because he got this fucking great idea. Excuse me. He got this great idea that that's the woman who he needs to be with for like the rest of his life, from the mirror, mirror on the wall. So it's like, pick number 3, my lord. And that's where John Lithgow, Lord Farquaad, had decided that that's what he needed. But he wasn't going to go out there and slay a fucking dragon for this bitch. No, he was smart. And he was like, yeah, I am totally going to hire somebody to do my dirty work so I can marry this bitch. And then I will officially be king of my motherfucking kingdom. So, yeah, he just decided to do that. So, while Shrek is Shrek and Donkey, basically, because Donkey knew the way, so he's like, you're coming with me. So they have like this epic bestie journey and shit like that, and I thought that was great. And they go in to rescue the princess, but like Princess Fiona is like carrying this deep dark secret where at nighttime, if you haven't seen the movie, spoiler alert, Princess turns into an ogre as well, but like they end up understanding each other. They end up falling in love while on this journey back over to like deliver her to like Lord Farquaad or whatever. And that's kind of shitty because it's just like, man, like I spent this time rescuing this bitch, but you're gonna give me my land, but I'm gonna give you your lady. Like, you know, that kind of fucking sucks. So it's like, I get that. Like, I just like, oh my God, that's terrible. So terrible. But anyway. So, Shrek quotes. Sorry, I didn't look this up either. Did I not? I'm pretty sure I pulled this up earlier. So Shrek quotes that live rent free in our heads. Ogres are like onions. When he starts to describe himself, because he just doesn't know how to explain himself to Donkey, they end up going through like this fucking onion field or whatever, and then he's like, onions. And he's like, ogres are like onions. They have layers. But he didn't say that, and yeah, I'm a little drunk, guys. Anyway, I like that boulder. That is a nice boulder. So Donkey's like going in there and like describing like he's like, oh, who would live in a place like that? And then Shrek's like, yeah, I live here. And he goes, oh, and I love what you done with the place. You see that boulder? I like that boulder. That's a nice boulder. Oh my God. There's just so many quotes. We could stay, he's like, Donkey goes, we could stay up late, swapping Manly stories, and in the morning, I make waffles. Yes. Love that quote. Let's see, what's up. But just, that whole banter between the gingerbread man and with Lord Farquaad is by far the best, where he's just like, okay, I'll tell you. Do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man. Yes, I know the Muffin Man. The one who lives on Drury Lane. Well, she's married to the Muffin Man. The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man! She's married to the Muffin Man. And then that's whenever the fucking beast, like, comes in through. He's like, my lord, we've got it. And he goes, and then, like, they end up doing, like, this whole dating game, like, fucking thing. And they're like, anyway, I'm just, like, going on. Anyways, I picked number 3, my lord. So, it's just one of those movies where I think it is so, like, crucial to me. And it just makes me feel so much better. It's just very quotable, very digestible. There's no, like, anything foul about this movie that I don't think anybody could pick apart. The movies that follow Shrek after that are pretty good. Like, I think until, like, maybe the 3rd or the 4th one is where I just kind of stopped paying attention. But if they were to bring it back as a series, I'd fucking watch it. I love it. Yeah, this movie I love it. I want to have a Shrek theme party, basically, is what I'm saying. So. And, like, at the end of the movie, when Donkey's, like, doing his whole fucking, like, song, like, melody of all kinds of songs, I think that was just great. It made me very happy. All the serotonin is flowing. But anyway, JR says he's living for the voices. I do very terrible voice impersonations, but I think that they're great in my head, so thank you for that. Anyway, without further ado, I've already wasted 2 hours, no, almost 2 hours, of fucking talking about my top 5 favorite movies. So just to recap with you guys, it's going to be Death Proof, Pulp Fiction, Wayne's World, Clueless, and Shrek. Those movies make me, I don't know if that's why I'm wearing green, but you know, whatever. So, this is where everybody wants to tune in, apparently. So maybe I should just make the drink first next time when I feel like I'm going to be, like, doing all this. If I'm going to be taking such a long time making all this, might as well, right? Alright. So, they're prepackaged, guys. Okay, I am actually going to close my laptop. Boop. I'm going to scoot that back in here. And we're going to make, oh, you know what? Maybe I should take you guys right here to make the drink. Okay. So everybody who's still awake right now, hello. I am going to beat up this ice real quick. And we're going to make something. Drinks with Daggers. My Degaholics have specifically requested purple. So purple won this week. I went in to do my top 5 favorite movies. So some ingredients that we're getting out right now. This is called the Grimace drink, and it is named Grimace after the McDonald's character. So we're gonna get out some vodka, some of this purple Powerade right here, and then it also asked for some grenadine. You guys are going to be so proud of me because I learned how to pronounce this. And it's not blue Caraco. I've heard people say it, but apparently it's called blue carousel. Don't know how I feel about that. Don't know if I personally like it, but you know, it is what it is. So we're actually first are going to pour some ice into the Drinks with Deg's cup, which is that was a lot of ice that ended up missing. So anyway, pour some ice in here. And then it says that we add the vodka first. So nice cold vodka right here. And it looks like a lot. It's really not. That's just the ice. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna put that over here. Then we are gonna add the grenadine. Give it some color. So I was, I actually looked up several different recipes for this because it's like, I don't know how to make a purple drink without having to get that fucking dumbass purple glitter. And I was like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna buy fucking purple glitter and then poop it out the next day. Like, no, that's not happening. So we're gonna add this. This was not supposed to be patriotic in any way, shape, or form, but okay. Guess what's happening. They said once it settles and once you like stir it, it's supposed to make like this really pretty color. But I don't see that going anywhere. This looks like a fucking Captain America drink. Salute, I guess. But, and then you're supposed to add purple Gatorade. And they said that that was the dangerous part because they said that when you add the purple Gatorade, it looks more blue to me though. They said whenever you add the purple Gatorade is, is that it's supposed to just only taste like the Gatorade. So we're gonna take this, we're gonna shake it up a bit. And it's purple. That's a very purple drink you drank. Woo. Okay. That's happening. Okay, I'm gonna get a straw because I feel like I'd be doing myself a disservice if I do anything else. So, I'm gonna pull out a straw from the back over here. And this is a purple Grimace. It is very purpley. It is very cute. Let's see what the fuck I made. I need a moment, guys, because this drink that I just fucking made tastes nothing like I added the grenadine. It doesn't taste like I added the blue carousel. It doesn't taste like any of that other than it doesn't taste like the vodka at all, which is probably the most dangerous part. And this tastes like fucking purple Gatorade. That's literally all that fucking tastes like. Sorry, guys. Oh, okay. Now, okay. I didn't think y'all could see me. I didn't know if it was still on. But it's a very pretty drink. Oh my god, that is fantastic. Oh, vodka is dangerous in my book anyway, so to let you guys know. So we're gonna talk about some honorable mentions here, and that was so stupid of me to like take off my my laptop. If I can remember correctly, I think Monica had mentioned Forrest Gump. I talked about Forrest Gump very briefly about under the quotes that I hate, and it's just because that movie was so great by itself that I don't think that the quotes that they actually pulled and the quotes that are relevant to that movie are, how do I say? Those weren't the best quotes from the movie. Like, that movie is such a great movie. We watch it like every holiday season. Not just like Christmas and shit like that, but we watch it like, we're gonna watch it on 4th of July. Like, that's such a huge staple in my family. We watch it 4th of July, watch it during New Year's, watch it during Christmas, watch it fucking Valentine's Day. Like, we watch that movie religiously in my house. Another movie, well, she actually mentioned a franchise, but she said that there were certain parts of the franchise that she just was not a fan of, which is Star Wars. If any of my Star Wars nerds, hello, I am drinking with you guys because I fucking love Star Wars. If you haven't watched Obi-Wan, please hop on that ASAP. Oh, that beer just tastes real fucking good. You guys, I made this killer ass drink. Oh my god. It's really fucking good. It tastes like fucking purple Gatorade by itself. Oh my god. Anyway, so she just does not count certain movies, which I agree with. As a whole, with watching Obi-Wan and knowing that Obi-Wan was based off of some of these movies that do not need to that shouldn't have happened, I agree. But also think of the times that we were living in, guys. Like, think of during that time, we were still like hindering off of us just being like Marvel nerds and like comic book nerds and like, you know, just all that. If you guys have not gotten that impression that I am a total nerd, then I don't get it. I love Star Wars, all of them, even the sequels. Okay, good JR. Good to know. Because a lot of people don't agree with that statement. And so there were some of the movies that were shitty and everybody's like, no, that shouldn't have happened, blah, blah, blah. The OG Star Wars, absolutely, for fucking sure. I love them to death of me. However, when the sequels had come out, I was at a very young age. I was very vulnerable. I was very impressionable and things like that. So these movies did well for me at that age because I understand that people who... everyone that was older than me were like, that's fucking trash, and I just didn't understand it until fully understanding and rewatching the old movies. So the original, the OG movies, I rewatched them like, yeah, I could see why that's trash. However, Obi-Wan was sheer perfection, and to me, you have to have at least liked or cared or something along that fluidity to appreciate Obi-Wan as a whole. Because if you liked Obi-Wan and didn't like the other ones, I don't see where your logic is with that. Because to me, it had everything to do with the sequels. Like, it had everything to do, like Rogue One and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I love Adam Driver. I'm gonna watch everything that Adam Driver's in. I have the biggest crush on him. Like, I love it. And the girl who played Rey, I think she is just a badass and just a great, you know, role model for people. And I love those sequels because my nephew was the one who loved Star Wars. I even threw him a little Star Wars party a few years ago for his birthday. And that just like means so much to me. It's just the point that Star Wars legacy is like living on, like from I'm not going to call you guys elders because you guys are not old. To my big brothers and sisters, I understand where you guys are coming from. But for me, being born and like watching that, and then for the younger generations who are so much younger than me, watching these other sequels, it's just like the whole point is that it's Star Wars. Okay, they're making money off of me, they're making money off of my brothers and sisters, they're making money off of my nieces and my nephews, and it's just like, it's a great fandom that we can all share, and I think that's the most important part of it. JR says, as long as Jar Jar Binks never comes back, I'll accept anything Star Wars gives me. Jar Jar Binks was a bitch. Jar Jar Binks was such an ass. Like, he did not deserve the role that he did. Like, honestly. Jar Jar Binks. No, fuck you, dude. You're a fucking rat. You are a literal rat. Like, you just said fuck everything. Empire. All day. Yeah, Jar Jar Binks, he was a fucking rat. I don't care what anybody says. My cousin did post on here to go over, I don't know if you guys ever had like hood movies or movies that you watched just because they were on UPN 20, if you guys remember that. Or anything like that. Like, I remember watching like these not like gangster like mob movies, but like gangster like hood movies. One of them was Blood In, Blood Out. Vatos Locos, you know. Gang Gang. And Blood In, Blood Out and American Me. American Me. And everybody would ask me, what did you prefer? It's nothing to do with my cousin's bias. But I did very much enjoy American Me with the legendary, the great, not Abraham Quintanilla, but fucking Edward James Olmos. Like, oh my god, that movie was just start to end was just like a great movie. Just like how everything used to be, how it was then, how it is now, and then from that era, and then from everything, and it's just so fucking true. Like, I wish these kids would watch that movie and just understand how much the fucking movement is, the fucking how shit still works now, and these kids don't understand that. And I feel like a boomer, like, okay, boomer, but I just feel like, not me personally growing up in that community, I've seen a lot of shit, but also just reflecting on that, just like as a cultural thing, it's just like, damn, that's exactly how it is. Like, that's how that shit is, and it breaks my heart, of course, but it's just like, man, that movie just like, it fucking rings true to this day. Anyway, let's see what other honorable mentions. Okay, so we're gonna get sad for like 10 seconds. There's two movies that I absolutely love, but just like make me ultimately sad. 500 Days of Summer is the first one. I hate that movie so hard. I hate that I love it. It's not a guilty pleasure movie at all. It has Zoe Deschanel and my boy JGL, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, in it. And it is a movie about how he ends up falling in love with this girl. This girl has, like, says that I don't want a relationship. But they end up, like, dating, but not in a relationship, because whenever he got chicken shit to define it, like, she was just like, well, you know, we're having fun. This is what it is. He's like, okay, cool. I'm going to ride with that. And then he totally turned out to be, like, a fucking dickhead, because he was just like, oh, you didn't want to be anybody's girlfriend, but you want to be somebody's wife. Like, get it. Full-fledged get it. I chugged, like, a whole fucking six-pack to, like, that whole fucking movie. Not even the movie, probably, like, the first 20 minutes. That movie is, the soundtrack. Again, guys, music means a lot to me. Music and movies mean so much to me. And, like, whenever the two intertwine with each other and make something beautiful, I just absolutely I live for it. So they play a lot of the Smiths and a lot of Regina Spektor. Regina Spektor did a lot of the music for that fucking movie, and it was just sheer perfection, just so beautiful. And it's just like, there were times in my life when I would watch that movie in my 20s, and I was like, oh my god, I am such a Tom, like, that's so fucked up, blah, blah, blah. And then I grew to know that I was Summer. I grew to know that I was that bitch. So that's a great fucking movie that I just think that it should be watched once by everybody, so that way they can get a better understanding of perspective and what a woman asks for in anything. Anyway, I'm rambling. But the other movie that makes me like super sad, but like also makes me feel very great, is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which is a movie by Jim Carrey, which is not a very funny movie by Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is known as this comedian, as everybody knows, this funny guy, this, oh my God, this once in a lifetime, hilarious person, just like Robin Williams along that whole spectrum. Jim Carrey in this movie just puts him in a whole nother fucking light, which is why I just admire him and I love him. I would legit cry if I ever met him, or Mike Myers. Like, those are my two fucking people that if I ever met, if they were to walk through my door right now, I will be, is it inconsolable? Inconsolable. I will not be able to be consoled by anybody at that point, basically. And so in this movie, he stars with, is it Kate? What's her name? Is it Kate Blanchett? I want to say it's Kate Blanchett. But this movie basically circles around, like, he meets this girl, blah, 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 and they are in some high-tech futuristic world, because if this service was offered to me, I would do it in a fucking heartbeat. They go through this horrendous, it's not horrendous, I guess to them it was horrendous, but horrendous breakup or whatever. And she wants to erase any single part, any single memory, anything that ties to him from her brain. And there are people in this movie who do that. So Kirsten Dunst is in it, and Mark Ruffalo's in it. Yeah, it's like an all-star cast, basically. And they go through and she actually goes through with the whole procedure and like gets any memory of him erased from her. And he is just trying to figure out why. So he ends up finding the place and he wants to do the same. He's like, man, fuck this bitch. I want to do the same. She doesn't remember me. I don't want to remember her or whatever. But then he kind of gets cold feet with that, and he tries to go back, and like, it's just a beautiful, it's a tragedy. It's a romantic tragedy, because they end up remembering each other. Like, they meet again, and it's just like the same shit. And it's so crazy because it's so repetitive. So it's like, are they meant to be together? What's going on? Is it toxic? Like, what's going on? Type of shit. And it's just such a great fucking movie that I just 1010% agree that everybody should watch it. What's going on? Robin was another person you know what, JR? You are absolutely fucking right. So JR said that Robin Williams is another person you only think of as a comedian, but is a hell of an actor. Agreed. Patch Adams. I think he was fucking phenomenal in that. Good Will Hunting, I thought he was fucking great in that. Him being Genie in Aladdin, and everybody thinks that I was just funny. No, it's a beautiful thing that, you know, the charisma that he has, the happiness that he brought to a lot of people was just a whole nother fucking realm. I would have cried if I were to ever have met him, like, in real life. I would cry and just, like, be so succumbed to him. I would do whatever he wants. If he wanted me to go chop a head off a deer, I'd do it. I didn't even know what his reasoning would be or what the explanation was. I would do it. So, I just love him. But, oh, God. What else did Martha put on there? There's another movie. I did talk about Willy Wonka for like a brief second in my life. I had again, gonna admit some things right here, guys. I have had, because Gene Wilder is now deceased, had the biggest Jones for Gene Wilder. I thought he was just sheer perfection. I don't know if I have a thing for comedians or people who make me laugh, whatever. Gene Wilder to me was just like this underground genius, and just turned every single role that he had with to gold, with Blazing Saddles, with Young Frankenstein, with Willy Wonka, with anything. I just thought that it was just fucking brilliant. And I particularly love this movie just because, like, it was a musical. It is a musical. And it just, like, hit every fucking, like, the craziness, like, the whole boat scene, like, just him just being so authentic in that movie to me. I love that, the authenticity and the weirdness, like, and how funny it was, how dark it was, and just everything about Gene Wilder I just was obsessed with. And, like, he made an appearance and a role in Will and Grace. If you guys don't know what Will and Grace are, please step off my life. Like, I cannot. And he was so weird. Like, he was a lot older. And he was just, like, so weird. And I'm just like, but that's Gene Wilder, though. Like, I didn't expect him to be any less maniacal as he got older. I just thought that he was just, you know, staring into the skid with this whole craziness that he was, like, shelling out for the whole audience. And I thought that was pretty cool. But him as Willy Wonka, and everybody's like, oh, you don't like the Johnny. I went to go watch the Johnny Depp version, like, the weekend it came out. I had tickets. I bought tickets for me and my neighbors and my brother. And I just, like, was sitting there as a fucking angsty teenager, just like, no. I enjoy this, but no. I love Johnny Depp. I love him to death. Woohoo, fuck you, Amber Heard. But I just couldn't get behind it, like, at all. I couldn't. Just because Gene Wilder is untouchable to me in my eyes. I just think that he was just such a fox, and I thought that everything that he did was just so fucking grand. It was great. But anyway. Oh my God, JR, you make a very valid point about Robin Williams. 1 hour photo, I couldn't watch all the way. Like, I was really young when that came out. I just couldn't watch it. What Dreams May Come made me cry like a fucking baby, and it still does to this day. Like, I just can't, like, those are very impeccable roles of him. And I just loved it. Hold on, let me just get in here real quick and figure this shit out. Hold on. I am going to look at my shit. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Martha mentions a very great one here. Is 10 Things I Hate About You. 10 Things I Hate About You stars Julia Stiles, Heath Ledger, the girl from Alex Mack. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know what you're talking about. Just look her up. My boy JGL, hello. And it's just such a good movie. It sprouted from Taming of the Shrew, that whole plot. Like, they even incorporate Shakespeare in the movie, which I thought was great. It has so many quotes, like, oh, that's Costa Rican butthead, or just like, oh my God, good one, Bogey. There's a dick on my face, isn't it? Like, I love that movie so much. It was just so, it's such a good movie. And the sound, again, with the soundtrack, Dag again with her soundtrack bullshit. My dad loves that song, Cruel to Be Kind. But not that the one that's shown on there by, it's Letters to Cleo who sings it with Save Ferris. I can go into them all day. I just love them. But my dad, the original song, I didn't know that it was a remake until my dad had told me, like, shortly after watching that movie that, oh, you know, that song's a remake. And I'm like, what? So he showed me the original one, which he absolutely loves. It's by Nick Lowe. It's called Cruel to Be Kind. Cruel to Be Kind is one of my favorite songs of all time. And my dad straight up thinks that was the best song ever. And I'm like, same. But my dad likes the Nick Lowe version. I don't. I think it's stupid. I like the Letters to Cleo version better. And my dad's like, no, I hate that version. So it's just always like a going back and forth thing. But every time I hear that song, I go, I called in a favor. And if you don't get it, I'm sorry. Like, sorry. But that movie, just like, with Julia Stiles and Heath Ledger, like, their chemistry together was just, like, impeccable and just so great. And I just loved it. And to see Joseph Gordon-Levitt, like, just kind of sprouting into his own, like, okay, I'm going to be an actor and type of shit, and he just did that role so great. I just loved it. Great fucking movie. Okay, so anyway, so we're gonna finish up this drink, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. It's already past midnight. That means I've been on for 2 hours. Okay, I'm gonna touch on one more movie. I'm gonna go through her list real quick. Actually, I'm gonna make a very stagnant point right here. I'm drunk. That's not the point I'm trying to make. But I am gonna let you guys know that I do plan on doing more top 10 lists and top 5 lists or whatever. I do want to do it more with guests. I actually want to do this a lot more when I have guests around the holidays. So that way we can like kind of spit off each other and just like kind of do that whole dynamic or whatever. So, but this list will be incorporated in future seasons. Not just like seasons of Drinks with Deg, but just like autumn, aka fall. Winter, Christmassy type of shit. Yeah, just during, that will always be a contender, and I love that. So, I definitely want to make this top 10 thing, top 5, whatever, with guests. But, yeah, so you guys, don't forget to like, vote. You guys are getting really good at the voting thing. I'm going to go in there and count each individual heart. You guys go like, vote, whatever whatever you guys decide to do. So I'm gonna end up putting this up on Sunday before I start my shenanigans, because I am off on Monday, which is the actual 4th of July. But we're gonna be celebrating on the 3rd because we don't care, we're rebels. We're gonna throw some fucking tea into the harbor or whatever, and I'm probably gonna get caught off because of that. But anyway, but you guys have a great fucking night. I just finished my drink called the Groom's drink. It was fantastic. I'm gonna make this shit again right now. Anyway, so we just talked about our top 5 movies, and then I rambled on about some other movies. But this is shit that I like to talk about, would like to talk about to other people off camera. Just like movies, I will go on all day, and then people are like, okay, bitch, you're drunk, you need to go to sleep, which is probably what I need to do. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great fucking night. I hope you guys have a great fucking weekend. Happy 4th. Whatever that means to you guys, it doesn't mean anything to me right now, especially in the state of the condition that we're living in. But anyway, yeah, so you guys take care. Have a great fucking weekend. I will come to you guys very soon about the next show. The next show is probably going to be a little bit different. I will be in a different setting. I will be at a market downtown. So, we'll see how that goes, and we'll probably just do a fucking bullshit ass live and then save the other bullshit for another time. So, we'll see. We're gonna fucking see how everything goes this week and then go from there. So, anyway, guys, welcome back again to Drinks with Deg. I appreciate it. I love it. I love all the love. I love all the support. Everything that you guys have to fucking offer for this show, I love it. And I'm just like taking in all the love and all the feedback and everything. If you guys have any suggestions for any future shows, please let me know. They will be included in the envelope if I think that they're great ideas, because I know I'm just only one person and this fucking huge ass head only has enough space for whatever. But anyway, have a great night. Have a great weekend. I will talk to you guys soon. If y'all need anything, just let me know. I love you guys. Till next time. Drinks with Deg. Don't forget to like, follow. Send me some monies on the Cash App, which is Drinks with Deg. Whatever you guys want to do. Anyway, love you guys. See y'all next time.